Have you ever wondered why so many seniors, people who eat well, exercise, and do everything right, still end up battling devastating health issues? Here's a truth bomb. According to the World Health Organization, more than 30% of global deaths in the elderly are tied to preventable causes. That's right, preventable. What if I told you that the real threat to your health isn't just aging itself, it's hiding in your everyday habits? Habits you've trusted for years, habits that feel harmless, but may actually be draining your energy, damaging your organs, and slowly shortening your life, without a single warning sign. The scariest part? It's not what you do, it's what you don't know. In this video, we're pulling back the curtain on 6 deadly mistakes that millions of seniors unknowingly make. And mistake number 1? It's the silent killer behind 1 in 3 elderly deaths. You need to hear this. But here's the good news. I'll also reveal the best science-backed strategies to help you stay strong, sharp, and independent, well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. Even if you're still in your 40s or 50s, you'll want to know this. So, before we dive into these life-saving insights, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Elderly Health Tips. Your future self will thank you. All right, let's get started. 6 dangerous mistakes you must avoid if you're over 50. Mistake number 6: isolation and loneliness. Let's talk about something we rarely acknowledge out loud, but silently destroys the lives of millions of older adults: isolation and loneliness. This isn't just about feeling alone, it's a biological threat. According to a landmark study from Brigham Young University, chronic loneliness increases the risk of early death by 26% to 30%. That's on par with the mortality risk of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Yes, 15 a day. Let that sink in. Now pause for a moment and think, would we ever ignore someone smoking a pack a day? Of course not. But we often overlook the silent smokers, the isolated, the disconnected, the lonely. As a physician who's been in practice for over 4 decades, I've seen this firsthand. I once had a patient named Robert, a retired high school teacher from Nebraska. In his 70s, physically stable, no major diseases. But after his wife passed, something shifted. He started skipping checkups, lost weight, lost sleep, and eventually, he lost his drive to live. His labs showed elevated cortisol, his blood pressure shot up, and within 6 months, he developed signs of early-stage dementia. No new medications, no major life changes, just prolonged, invisible isolation. So, what exactly does loneliness do to the body? It triggers a constant stress response, flooding the system with cortisol. This chronic inflammation wears down the immune system, raises blood pressure, and damages the cardiovascular system. Brain-wise? Studies from Harvard and Johns Hopkins show that social isolation is a major predictor of cognitive decline, including Alzheimer's disease. Neurons literally wither from lack of stimulation. Just like unused muscles, unengaged minds shrink. Loneliness also worsens depression, sleep disorders, and even increases the risk of falls, since lonely seniors are less likely to stay active or alert. But here's the good news. Loneliness is treatable. You don't need a packed social calendar, just consistent, meaningful connection. Something as simple as a 15-minute phone call every day can reduce stress levels. Volunteering once a week, joining a local church group, or attending a community gardening club. These all help reactivate neural and emotional circuits. I often recommend my patients try shared routines. For example, one of my patients, Margaret, 82, started doing virtual Tai Chi with her granddaughter on Zoom every morning. Not only did her balance improve, but her mood, sleep, and memory improved too. Mistake number 5: lack of physical activity. Let's talk about one of the most underestimated health risks facing older adults today: not moving enough. According to the CDC and WHO, physical inactivity now ranks alongside smoking as a leading cause of early death worldwide. Just let that sink in. Not exercising can be as deadly as lighting up a cigarette every day. When you don't move, your body begins to break down, especially as you age. A meta-analysis published in the Lancet found that physical inactivity is responsible for 1 in 10 deaths worldwide. That's roughly 5.3 million people per year. In seniors, the risks skyrocket. Inactivity leads to sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength. Without resistance training or movement, muscles literally waste away. This weakens joints, slows balance reflexes, and increases the risk of falls, fractures, and hospitalizations. It also contributes to osteoporosis, a silent bone-thinning disease that affects nearly half of women and 1 in 4 men over 50 in the US alone. No movement means no bone stimulation, and no bone stimulation means brittle bones. And the heart? Inactivity weakens cardiovascular function, raising the risk of stroke, high blood pressure, and even cognitive decline. Now, the good news: you don't need to run marathons to change your life. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, just 150 minutes of light to moderate activity per week, that's about 21 minutes a day, can dramatically lower your risk of disease. This can be something as simple as a 10-minute morning walk and another in the evening chair, yoga for flexibility and balance. Light resistance bands for strength, dancing to your favorite songs while cooking, or even simple household chores done intentionally. I had another patient, George, 81, from Texas. He started with just 5-minute walks down his driveway. Within a month, that became 15 minutes, then 30. Now, every morning, George walks his dog around the block and does 5 minutes of stretches. He tells me, "Doc, I feel 10 years younger." And you know what? His blood work agrees. So, how do you recognize when inactivity is creeping in? Here are some red flags. Feeling more tired despite doing less. Losing interest in daily tasks. Struggling to get out of a chair or climb stairs. Clothes fitting looser around the thighs or arms, or avoiding walks even when the weather is perfect. These aren't just signs of aging, they're signs your body is begging to move. Mistake number 4, magnesium deficiency. Let's talk about a deficiency that often goes undiagnosed in seniors, yet quietly affects the entire body. Magnesium deficiency. Most people don't realize this, but according to data from the National Institutes of Health, nearly 50% of older adults in the United States are not getting enough magnesium, either from food or because their body simply can't absorb it efficiently anymore. As we age, our ability to absorb magnesium decreases naturally. On top of that, many older adults take diuretics or proton pump inhibitors, PPIs, common medications that deplete magnesium levels over time. I've had countless patients walk into my office complaining of things like leg cramps at night, fatigue that doesn't go away, tingling in the hands or feet, trouble sleeping, and even irregular heartbeats. Many of them didn't need sleeping pills or muscle relaxers. They simply needed more magnesium. What exactly does magnesium do? Magnesium plays a critical role in over 300 enzyme reactions. It's essential for nerve and muscle function, regulating blood pressure, keeping your heart rhythm steady, building strong bones, and even helping your body produce melatonin for quality sleep. When your magnesium is low, your muscles spasm, your heart works harder, your blood pressure rises, and your brain can't fully relax. Over time, chronic deficiency may increase your risk of hypertension, osteoporosis, and even cardiovascular events. So, what are some realistic fixes for seniors? Start with diet. You don't need supplements right away. Try incorporating leafy greens like spinach or kale pumpkin seeds, one of the highest magnesium-rich foods, almonds, cashews, or a tablespoon of nut butter avocados, easy to digest and great for the heart. A square or two of dark chocolate, 70% cacao or higher. If appetite is an issue, I sometimes recommend magnesium glycinate supplements. It's gentle on the stomach and easier to absorb, especially in older adults with digestive concerns. Mistake number 3. Vitamin D deficiency. Let's talk about a deficiency that's often invisible until it becomes dangerous: vitamin D deficiency. According to the CDC and the National Institutes of Health, nearly 1 in 2 older adults in the U.S. have low or insufficient levels of vitamin D, especially those over age 65. The reasons? Simple: not enough sun exposure, poor diet, and age-related changes in skin and kidney function that make vitamin D harder to produce and process. And yet, the consequences aren't simple at all. Vitamin D isn't just a bone vitamin. It plays a powerful role in the immune system, mental health, heart health, and even brain function. When levels are low, seniors are more likely to experience weakened immunity, leading to frequent infections, mood disorders, especially seasonal depression and anxiety, increased risk of osteoporosis and fractures, greater likelihood of heart disease and high blood pressure. And long-term, a higher chance of developing cognitive decline and dementia. In fact, a large-scale review published in the Journal of Neurology found that seniors with low vitamin D levels had a 53% higher risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. That's not a small number. I had a patient named Tom, 72, from Arizona. Ironically, a sunny place. But he was always indoors, wore long sleeves, and used heavy sunscreen. He came to me with low energy, joint pain, and feeling mentally foggy. His blood work showed severely low vitamin D. After a few months of moderate sun exposure, dietary changes, and a D3 plus K2 supplement, his symptoms dramatically improved. His energy was back, his mood lifted, and the fog cleared. So, what can you do? Start small and stay consistent. Sunlight. Aim for 10 to 20 minutes of sunlight a day, preferably before 10 a.m. or after 4 p.m. Expose your arms, hands, or legs without sunscreen during that short window. Food sources. Add fatty fish like salmon or mackerel 2 to 3 times a week, egg yolks, and fortified dairy or plant-based milk. Supplements. If sun and diet aren't enough, talk to your doctor about vitamin D3, ideally paired with vitamin K2, which helps shuttle calcium to your bones instead of your arteries. Many seniors benefit from a daily dose of 1,000 to 2,000 IU, but always test and consult before long-term use. Mistake number 2. Deficiency in vitamin B12 and zinc. Let's talk about 2 essential nutrients that often go overlooked until the damage is done: vitamin B12 and zinc. According to the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, up to 20% of adults over age 60 in the U.S. are deficient in vitamin B12, and nearly 30% of older adults don't get enough zinc from their diet. Why? Aging affects absorption, and medications like metformin, acid blockers, and even diuretics make things worse. Let's start with vitamin B12. This vitamin is critical for nerve health, red blood cell production, and cognitive function. When it's low, symptoms can appear gradually but become life-altering if ignored. Think about this: feeling mentally foggy, struggling with memory or word recall, constant fatigue even after a full night's sleep, tingling or numbness in the hands or feet, mood swings, or depressive episodes. One of my patients, Janet, 74, from Michigan, came to me thinking she might have early dementia. She kept forgetting appointments, couldn't focus, and felt emotionally flat. Her labs revealed severe B12 deficiency. After a course of B12 injections, followed by daily sublingual supplements, she bounced back within weeks. Her dementia was nutritional and reversible. Now, let's look at zinc. Zinc is a powerhouse for the immune system, wound healing, and even taste perception. Without it, your body struggles to recover and protect itself. Signs of zinc deficiency include frequent colds or infections, loss of appetite or taste, delayed healing from cuts or surgery, thinning hair or brittle nails, a general feeling of being worn down without explanation. I remember Paul, 79, a retired firefighter from Florida. After a bout of pneumonia, he just couldn't bounce back. No appetite, mouth ulcers, slow wound healing. His zinc levels were almost non-existent. A simple zinc supplement and dietary tweaks, like adding pumpkin seeds and beef stew, restored his strength within a month. So, what can seniors do to prevent or correct these deficiencies? First, focus on whole, nutrient-dense foods. For B12, beef chicken liver, salmon eggs, fortified cereals, especially for vegetarians. For zinc, pumpkin seeds, oysters, ground, beef, chickpeas, cashews. And if food alone isn't enough, supplement wisely. For B12, sublingual tablets or monthly injections are often best absorbed. For zinc, 15 to 30 milligrams daily is usually safe for older adults, but always check with your doctor before starting. The most critical and dangerous mistake. Mistake number 1. Overusing calcium and iron. Let's talk about a very common but often overlooked danger among older adults, taking too much calcium or iron, especially through supplements. According to research from the National Institutes of Health and Mayo Clinic proceedings, excessive intake of calcium or iron, particularly when it comes from supplements rather than food, can do more harm than good. And unfortunately, many seniors are unknowingly overdosing daily. Here's the problem. Too much calcium in the bloodstream can lead to vascular calcification, a buildup of calcium in the walls of arteries. This stiffens blood vessels, increases blood pressure, and raises the risk of heart attack or stroke. A study published in JAMA Internal Medicine found that high-dose calcium supplements were associated with a 20% increased risk of cardiovascular events in older adults, especially in women over 65. As for iron, excess iron is stored in the liver, and over time, it can cause oxidative stress, liver damage, and even increase the risk of diabetes and neurodegenerative diseases. Too much iron in the bloodstream promotes inflammation, one of the key drivers of heart disease, Alzheimer's, and even colon cancer. I remember a patient named Linda, 68, from Colorado. She was taking a multivitamin, a separate calcium supplement, and also iron pills, just to be safe. Her blood pressure was creeping up, and she complained of constant fatigue and digestive issues. Lab work showed elevated serum calcium and ferritin levels, clear signs of overload. We stopped all non-essential supplements and focused on food-based sources. Within a month, her energy returned, and her blood pressure dropped back to normal. So how can seniors get the benefits of calcium and iron without the risks? First, aim to meet your needs through food. For calcium, leafy greens like kale and collards, sardines with bones, fortified plant-based milks, plain Greek yogurt, tofu set with calcium. For iron, lean red meat, shellfish like clams and oysters, pumpkin seeds, lentils and beans. Cooked spinach supplements should only be used when a confirmed deficiency is present, and always under medical supervision. Isolation, inactivity, nutrient imbalances, silent overdoses. These aren't rare accidents, they're habits we can change. But change doesn't happen by accident. It starts with awareness and action. So ask yourself, are you moving enough? Are you nourishing your body or just popping pills? Have you checked your vitamin D or B12 lately? Is someone you love silently suffering from loneliness or fatigue? Don't wait for symptoms to scream. Listen when they whisper. Start small, reconnect, rebalance, rebuild. And if you're not sure where to begin, you're already doing it right now. If this video sparked a thought, helped you reflect, or made you think of someone who needs support, please like, share, and subscribe to Elderly Health Tips. Every voice, every action, every moment can be the turning point in someone's life. Let's stay strong, stay informed, and grow wiser together.